But I told the other dude, I was just like, I refuse to not be picky. So I was like, I will be picky going into like whatever relationship I go into next.
Good.
Because I was like, I'm not going to be an idiot this time. Well, you never know. But
We're all an idiot when it comes to love. And I think that's what our book this time around kind of talks about. So welcome to another episode of He's Just the Plot. And I gotta say, I know we normally start with that, or we do the intro first, but I wanted to welcome everyone because my opener for this is really, I liked this book.
I did too. I enjoyed it.
Emily Henry writes books about girls who think and act like me, and I'm okay with that. And this book is for all the city girls out there, all the romantics out there, all the women who just want to live that fantasy, that romantic fantasy. This book is for you and how you need to get over that. No, we need to get back into the real world because the real world can be the fantasy. So that was my opener for this one. But I think you're on the path. I think you're on the path of the beach read right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So welcome to another episode of He's Just the Plot, a podcast about book boys and wondering, are they okay? Here we analyze book boyfriends and apply counseling theories and techniques we would use if they were our clients. Because guys aren't the only people who can say, it's hard.
I love those little one-liners.
I enjoyed that one too. I was like, you know what? As a therapist, I do say like all the time, like it's hard. And guys say that all the time too.
They do. And they get blue balls sometimes. Sorry.
You're unhinged today. Tequila,
The lack
blue
of
ball.
sleep.
I'm Nora, one of your podcast hosts, excited to be here. And my life update is that I am so behind with my grading that I might just give all my students A's or move to my dead dad's secret lake house in Michigan. That's not my dad. My dad is not dead. You had to
misleading.
I know,
but I get
it was,
it.
if
I
you
get
read the
it.
book,
If you
you'll
read
get
the
it.
book.
If you read the book, you'll get it. My dad is alive and does not have a secret lake house, to my knowledge, which I'm pretty sure is accurate in Michigan or anywhere. My dad has no secret assets, which is a bit unfortunate for me.
I was just about to say I would have actually really enjoyed if my dad did have like a secret.
Yeah, I want my dad to have a secret asset somewhere.
Yeah.
Like a secret stash of money in Switzerland. Or that like he's secretly a king or a prince of another kingdom and I'm the last heir. Forget my older sister.
Agreed. Well, I'm Alyssa, one of your other podcast hosts who cannot talk right now. I'm also excited to be here. And when in doubt, I'm in the same boat as Nora, where I am also behind on grading.
We both teach now, too.
I just need my students to turn in stuff.
Oh, my God. I know. Just do the work.
I'm like,
don't even do it well. Just do it.
I'm like, you show up to class, you turn in your assignments, A. That's it. A. Like, you don't have to think that hard. Some of my kids are overthinking the symposium. And I'm like, I literally looked at one of them. I was like, y'all are all probably going to get A's. I'm just going to let you know that now. So please don't worry.
I think I have stressed my students out about their symposium because I'm having them do more than needed because they should be doing more. Like, I fundamentally believe that it's college now, like where I know that this is a first year course. And so it's that transitional course, but it's the end of the semester. The transition needs to have happened. And so the expectations need to be elevated. But there's like a step-by-step guide on what's expected of them. We go over it. Like, I'm not just like, do the work. I'm like, okay, here's all the information. right for like just anyway, they're good kids.
They're good kids.
They're good kids. And my seniors are good kids. I need to grade their midterms. They're good kids.
They're good kids. Anyways.
So today, I know, let me grab the book.
We're reading Beach Read.
Beach Read. Like, I got so many tabs. Sorry.
Honestly, she has been recommending me so many times, but this is the first book I've read by her.
Oh, I love her.
I haven't read any of her other books. You gave me Funny Story,
That's a
and
really
so that's
good
my
one.
next read.
That's so good.
But
my
I've
best friend
heard-
recommended that.
Yeah, I've heard so many good things about her. I just haven't gotten around to read it. But pleasantly, I really enjoyed it.
It was really good. You haven't read Flatshare yet either, and I gave that to you.
No.
But that's not Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry as an author.
Yeah.
I think she writes romance in such a realistic way that it doesn't feel like the romance genre. It feels like literature that has romance in it. And I think her prose are well done. Her characters are complex. They have really great arcs. And I think of all the books I've read by her, Beach Read is her most well done.
Okay.
Like, I really, as a piece of literary fiction, I think this is a really well written, well thought out book that just hit so many, like, it just hit home for me. Like,
Yeah.
I was in it. And I feel like this really resonated with me because I know Gus. Like, I had a Gus in my life. I know this guy. And so I was like, yeah, this feels really relatable for me.
Yeah.
So before we get into any more spoilers, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. If you haven't read it, pause, come back later, read it. Or if you're like me and gonna listen anyways, even if you haven't read it, you can continue on.
But I will be giving away lots of stuff. And we will talk about lots of spoilers.
Yeah. I feel like with romance books, they all end the same though. So is it really? Anyways.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid. Maybe that's why I like them so much, because like I know the
They're
ending.
predictable.
Yeah. Well, but they're predictable, but they have moments of unpredictability, and that's what sets them apart from
Wow, what a phrase.
like a good kill me. I think the difference between like a bad romance novel and a good romance novel is that even though they end with the couple being together, unless of course it's like a trilogy and you have to wait 3 books for it.
Yeah.
There are moments that really surprise you and they're really unexpected.
Yeah.
And that's what I think makes, and I think there were moments like that here. So
I agree.
I enjoyed this. I gave this because I felt like there was a lot of literary merit to this book. I'm going to start with some Shakespearean verse. 2 authors, both alike in dignity, in Fair Lake, Michigan, where we lay our scene. January Andrews, a delusional romantic romance writer.
Delusional is so accurate. Sorry.
I'm sorry. January Andrews, a delusional romantic romance writer, enters into a bet with Gus Everett, a disillusioned realist fiction writer. Can these two write in a genre that isn't their own while processing the trauma that is theirs? Find out in this 358-page book of delights. Pour yourself a glass of something nice because all of them are alcoholics, and this will be love at first page. Having met in college, these two went down different literary roads. After January's life implodes from the death of her father and the revelation of his secret love nest in Michigan, she is ready to escape. Enter best inheritance ever, a fully furnished lake house in a small town she can live in rent-free while she tries to write a new book to get back on her feet. There's one small catch, though. Her next-door neighbor is none other than that annoying guy from college who could never stand up straight, Gus. Except maybe he wasn't that annoying. And there was that one time at a frat party, she just can't get out of her head. And next thing you know, these two spend the whole summer challenging each other, literally and emotionally. By the end of the summer, we have learned January's dad never had a secret sex dungeon, and Gus's ex-wife kind of sucks. In fact, Gus's whole family kind of sucks, except for Pete. We love Pete.
We love Pete. Also, the whole thing on the house in Michigan, like, you're seriously going to complain about it and then sell everything out of it? I'm like, get over yourself.
Well, she was poor. She had no money.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't think she was selling it for the money. I thought she was selling it because she was pissed on, like, what it
represented. Yeah. Honestly, that was the way the house was just, I was like, I want this house.
No, it was so cute. That's why I'm like,
cute.
Are you dumb or are you stupid?
She's delusional.
She's both.
She's both. The fact that she was just in a relationship for years because, like, aesthetically it looked right, was just.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But she had the life. Like, she had the life that, like,
every girl wants.
That I want. Like New York, going to parties. She's an author. She has a hot boyfriend who's
a doctor.
And they go take ski trips and they summer and, like, that's the life. That sounded great. I was like, I'd be delusional too. They only drink champagne, which is not far off from me. So I was here for it. But then Gus, who is our male lead, Augustus, which I think is a really hot name.
I think it's such a hot name.
I think Augustus is Augustus Everett.
It's a good name.
Ooh, that's a serious writer's name. Enter him. He's 33. So I would say they're both at a good age. Like, he's like a year older than her.
Yeah, they're both in their 30s.
But they're both in their 30s, which I appreciated.
I did like that.
And the timeline of this, it happens over the entire summer. So I think that, the timeline isn't terrible. It's almost like Second Chance. If you're into second chance romances, this might be it for you. Because they met in college, and I think they were like rivals. This is, I wouldn't say quite enemies to lovers. She might have felt like they were enemies.
Yeah, but he was in love with her the whole time.
Yeah, he's always been obsessed, but he never felt like he was good enough.
Yeah.
And so I think there's this conversation that's happening with the enemies to lover trope of, like, they have to actually be enemies to lovers, not
they do.
He's obsessed with her the entire time and she says a few mean things to him. And
exactly.
Next
like,
thing,
who I think has a really good enemies to lovers? Serpent in the Wings of Night.
Yeah.
Because, like, I also love at the fact that it's like enemies to lovers, and then right at the end it's like enemies again.
That was a big betrayal too.
Yeah.
Oh man, I threw the book down.
Sorry, I brought up a whole new book.
You did. I had to and I had to go back because it's been a while since I read it, and I haven't finished.
I need to finish that whole
because it's like several
duologies within a series.
Yeah. And the latest one came out and I haven't finished it.
Yeah. But no, I think, like, I agree with a lot of people that argue, like, the enemies to lovers. Like, Fourth Wing, not an enemies to lovers.
Oh no, that's just annoying to annoying.
Dude, Onyx Storm finally came out on Kindle Unlimited and I still haven't read it, so I just downloaded it so I could start it.
I can't.
Dude, you just got to push through it. I heard the third one's 10 times better.
I haven't heard that.
Really? I heard it's better than the second one.
Ugh. We're really derailing here.
Yeah, sorry.
And we're going to lose listeners with my hot takes on Rebecca Yarros's. And I like Rebecca Yarros's work, but it should have been a trilogy.
Agreed. She should have stuck with her original plan. Anyways.
But Beach Read was great. It's a single book. And I'm also enjoyed the single book.
Yeah.
So Gus, I think it's friends, second chance, and then friends to lovers.
I think it's friends to lovers. Yeah. And second chance for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I would say, okay, high point of the book for me, the whole freaking thing. I literally wrote the whole freaking thing. I love this book so much. I like immediately day one, like how you felt about Butcher and Blackbird. I was like, yep, beach read, beach read. But I would say January's crash out over having her book shelved in women's fiction because they have because they have strong romantic themes and not just fiction. So basically the sexism in the publishing industry. I said go off. And I was like, is this Emily Henry's like actual
Probably.
thoughts?
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm trying to think of a high point for me. I liked the book.
Okay, did you though?
I did. I liked the book a lot. I enjoyed it. It was a fun read. I think a fun part, or I think a high point for me in the book was the fact that like every evening before they had even like gotten together, they were meeting out on the porch and just like talking from their own porches. And I just think that's like super intimate in the fact of like you're developing this like friendship and this relationship with someone like without needing to like be like super close with them or super intimate with them. And so like I think that was a really big high point for me on just like I thought it was really cute.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think I gotta say too, I got really emotionally attached to this book because the male lead is just like the guy I had the biggest crush on in high school. To the point, like a good literary name, like this guy is an author now too.
Oh, that's crazy.
And
it's like back and forth a lot banter wise.
I mean, a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
Like we were known, like there were senior superlatives and one of them was most outspoken and
Y'all won it.
no, we didn't. So I was in the room when they were voting because my friends were in the journalism department. And it came down to like me and Charlie were really close and Charlie won it for the guys and I like had just lost out for the girls and Charlie turned it down. He was like, if it was you, I would have done it. But like, I'm not just going to be my senior superlative is most outspoken male. But if you had been the most outspoken woman, I would have done it because like, that's what we were always down each other's throats. Like, you're wrong. You're stupid. No, you're stupid.
It's like your rivalry.
Actually, we never called each other stupid. I think we both really respected each other's minds.
Yeah. Can you say that word for me?
Rivalry?
Yes. That's what this book is.
It is in like such a healthy way.
Yes.
Because Gus only did it because he was like, you are losing your shine and I need you to bring it. Like he did it for her.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so perfect. And so I just kept thinking like, I just kept seeing Charlie and Gus. Not that Charlie and I ever will. And I do not keep up with him or know him anymore, except that he has a book of poetry that's out. So go check it out. But just that like, I've felt that same energy before.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was at a wedding reading this. And so I just was like in my head, I was like, yeah, I totally, and I'm also just delusional as a person.
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't have to agree that quickly to the delusional part. So I was also like, yeah, January, I get it. But January I don't like that name.
It was interesting.
And then I would say my low point is Gus's chaotic attachment style.
Period.
Just anytime he was overwhelmed, he would just run away. And I
love it.
That really got producer Drake.
I love a man who runs away.
You were just going on about this date and how he's willing to wait. And you were like, period. This man loves me. I'm so excited. And now you're like, run away. You love a chase. You're a red flag.
I am the problem. I never said I wasn't the problem in my last relationship. We were both the problem. It was like
He was the
mainly
problem,
him.
but-
It was for sure mainly him. But I had my faults too. Still do.
I know.
I'm only like a little crazy.
You're not crazy.
I'm not crazy.
You just have standards
You're right.
that we're refusing. Like you wanted your partner to be there for you during surgery, and we're upset that he wasn't. I don't know who's crazy in that situation, but I don't think it's you.
Yeah, you're right. When you say it like that.
When you say the facts, it's crazy. Do you see what I put up with?
I'm wonderful. I'm pretty. I'm great.
I only threaten to punch you every day.
To be fair, I threaten that to a lot of people.
I'm only
And
mildly
I've never
violent.
threatened to punch you. I've threatened that I could crash out on someone in general.
in my
There's a
vicinity.
difference.
And I'm the only one around.
That's like why I picked up hobbies. To
What
help with
hobbies?
the anger.
What hobbies did you pick up?
I run.
Away?
Yes.
Like Gus.
Yes. I am nervous that if like some guy was like, I really like you, like let's give this a shot, I will run away. Like I'm very nervous that I am gonna be like no.
So that's
Run
interesting
away.
that you're like, I have an insecure attachment, and then you're literally explaining an
Avoid
avoidant
it.
attachment.
I actually have a super secure attachment now, but I'm nervous that
Who are you super securely attached to?
to myself.
Oh, okay.
Myself.
Okay, that's good. That's healthy.
Yeah.
Unconditional positive regard all your way.
Yeah, I practice that.
Why are you so mean to me?
I'm just kidding. We're really derailed again.
I know. I really enjoyed this book. Gus is really avoidant though. And I feel like we talk about avoidance and avoidant
lot.
attachment styles a lot. And I think this is a bigger trope within,
Males.
well, I was going to say the romance genre and
Oh,
the
yeah.
males that are often idolized in romantic genres of he's mean, he's going to change for me. Like he's mean to everyone else. He doesn't treat anyone nicely except for me. Like something about me is so special that he can change. And I think that's such an unwritten subconscious thought that goes into romance that I do want to talk about it because it's totally unfair to ask someone to change for you.
Yeah.
Someone can change on their own and someone may need to change on their own, but you can't control that. And also to go into a relationship expecting or like even hoping that someone changes, that's not a good foundation for a relationship.
No, I think in order for like a change to stick, that person needs to want to make the change for themselves, not for someone else.
And I think Gus, what I do like about him is he is wanting to make a change in his life.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a chaotic attachment style. So both signs of insecure and avoidant
Yeah.
together. So basically he would just run away when everything felt overwhelmed, but he constantly wanted January there and to be in her presence. And the same, I think, with Pete, his aunt, like he moved to a town where she is, but he wouldn't always accept her help. Like he wouldn't go to the book club until he thought that they were talking about his book. He wouldn't open up about, his traumatic childhood until he was like basically forced to.
Yeah.
And chaotic attachment style, I think it's hard. I think it's harder than like maybe just avoidant or just insecure because it's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
And so my counseling theory with this is attachment styles through the lens of CBT.
I like
so
that.
cognitive behavioral therapy, especially because cognitive behavioral therapy studies show that it works it can often work more with men.
Yeah.
And so that's a good, I like have, if he was my client, I'd have to take in that cultural consideration of gender and be like, okay, you, CBT is very much like problem solution. And I think Gus is very much like, I have a problem, I need a solution. And if I don't have a solution, it's going to be even more of a problem.
Yeah.
So Gus has a disorganized attachment style. This is an insecure attachment style characterized by inconsistent and unpredictable behaviors in relationships stemming from childhood trauma or inconsistent caregiving, which is absolutely his childhood. Like you find out in the book, like his dad was abusive and his mom like never left, and he really struggled with that because he
Yeah.
wanted her to
To
like
leave.
care for him, and he felt like she loved him, and then she just like couldn't escape. So adults with this style may crave intimacy but also fear it. And so at
Mm.
like some point I was like, did Emily Henry like look this up and like literally write it out? Because like I'm thinking about when they went camping at the cult fire site, and
Oh
he was like,
yeah.
I need you to leave, I need you to leave, but I need you to be here, but I need you to, and I was like,
Where he was just very, especially like leading up to it, he's like, "Are you
mm-hmm,
sure you want to go? Are you sure you want to go?" And she's like, "Do you want me to go?"
mm-hmm. And it was like a test. Like you're always testing
Yeah.
someone, which is not, don't test your partners.
Don't do that. If you're having to do that, go seek therapy.
Go, which I think Gus was in therapy, but
Gus was in
he needs
therapy.
more therapy.
He needs to stay in it.
But he also has only been in therapy a short time, and so I do think this was a bit early for him to start a serious relationship.
Yeah, how long had they been divorced?
I think a little under, like I think a year.
A year.
It was just a year, and like they had within that summer finalized the divorce.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm. So I would say adults with insecure attachment styles have contradictory actions, difficulty trusting, and intense emotional reactions, making it hard for them to form stable and lasting bonds. Therapeutic approaches that can help address this style by fostering self-awareness and building more secure attachment, more secure connections, which is what we would do with cognitive behavioral therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to work on countertransference with Gus.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I was thinking transference. Like I would have him transfer his feelings onto me, but I would have to work on my countertransference, which is something that across all counseling theories is that a thing that can happen with
Yeah.
therapists. And so I wanted to talk about that.
It's like a normal occurrence, I think, for therapists that I don't think it's talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense where like sometimes I think therapists feel really guilty when they experience it. But, like we're humans too. Like it's gonna happen. A character or a client's gonna remind us of someone else, or you experience the same thing your clients have. And so like it's really important that like at least you're aware of it and you're like, okay, no, this is how I can do, like this is what I can do going forward within the relationship.
Yeah. And like for me, reading this book, I was having countertransference between like Gus and my high school crush, Charlie. And like I just could not shake. Like I was finding like similarities and even like some of their like familial stories and some of their like reactions. And I wouldn't even say like, I know I'm like not, I wouldn't say like Charlie and I haven't talked in years. And so like it also came out of nowhere. So for like future therapists or therapists listening, like you never know when it's going to hit you or why it's going to hit you. But it is something like you need to be aware of, because I can't go into a session being like, all right, Gus, tell me about your high school experience, and like projecting my feelings onto him. And so that's something that like I would need to work on as Gus's therapist, and recognize you just hit yourself with the mic.
I'm sorry.
I'm like bearing my soul here, and you're like, yeah, blah. So I would need to recognize it. And that starts with recognizing kind of your own flaws. Like therapists need to go to therapy too. And like, why was this
Mm-hmm.
coming up in this moment?
Yeah.
Is there something going on? What are the personality traits specifically that remind me of this other person? And how can I be aware of that? And so I also think sometimes counseling is just a lot of self-reflection,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to just sit and think, which is hard because I mean, we don't really give ourselves the time to sit and
Yeah.
pause and contemplate and be
Yeah.
like, was that a question for my client or was that a question for me?
Yeah. I agree. But I think it's hard too, like when you are a therapist and you're seeing clients back to back, like you don't really have that time to always have that self-reflection after a session of like, am I doing right by my client? Am I going in to my sessions unbiased?
Well, I think building in that time, even if it's, I mean, yeah, if you're seeing clients back to back, even if it's 10 minutes, but I would say like for me, I have to do notes
Yeah,
right after a session.
me too.
Because if I don't do those notes,
I
they're not
won't
getting
remember.
done. And oh no,
Mm-hmm.
if and the places I work for need those notes done. Um,
Yeah.
and so I think even if I did private practice, I would have to be doing the notes. So maybe like 45 minutes at the end of the day to
Yeah.
just do some
Reflect.
reflection. And however you reflect, it could be with mindfulness, it could be journaling, it could be sitting in a quiet corner in a chair decompressing. It could be screaming into the void.
Yeah.
Whatever you need.
Whatever's gonna best benefit you. I really liked the honesty you're portraying right now though, with kind of like that attachment you felt with the characters. I didn't have that with this book. I can't lie. But I could see, I think there is moments in the book where like I have experienced some things that happen where like, yeah, it was like, okay, like I had to take a moment on some of the parts. And so I can relate to you on that sense.
I hear that. And I don't think, like, obviously, not every book or not every
No.
client we're going to have countertransference. It was just something that was like so
Yeah.
strong. And I haven't experienced it
Yeah.
before to this extent. Like thinking back on my clients, maybe in like some of my career counseling clients, there's been like one or two where I've been like, I see a lot of me and you, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where a lot of countertransference can happen. But to see someone, even a fictional person, and
Yeah.
like totally be like, you are completely this other person, and I know
Yeah.
that I'm putting those feelings on you. And that's probably why I think I liked this book so much too, is because I really, and to this day, I still like Charlie. Like I
Yeah, you
still,
felt a different connection to it.
mm-hmm.
But I think it goes back to like sometimes that like counter transference comes out of nowhere and it like
Yeah.
comes unexpectedly. And so I think that's just what this situation was. I've experienced it with one of my clients.
Mm.
And yeah, it was a lot of self reflection. It was a lot of supervision on like, what can I do to ensure I'm not bringing my bias into sessions
Yeah.
or like placing my feelings that I have about this person onto my client.
And that's a good point. So, for those of you who don't know the counseling lingo, supervision is where basically counselors seek support on cases, and it's not like giving the dirty details
No.
of everything. It's really generalized, like I'm having countertransference. How would you handle this? How could I handle this? And then basically depending on your supervisor style,
Yeah.
it can be a series of questions, it can be a series of answers, but you kind of work through it with another wiser, more
More
experienced, more
experienced.
seasoned counselor who can just kind of help give you some perspective on the situation.
Yeah.
And so while I was reading this, I was talking to another counselor, and I was like, this is what is happening. And this is crazy for me. Like I
Like I have an experience to this.
like so intensely and like
Yeah.
so like completely
Aware.
aware. Like once it hit me, I was like, oh my gosh.
I think it's like good that you were aware of it though, because then you have clients or counselors who aren't aware to their counter transference. Like that's when it becomes a rocky road.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important to be able to catch that within yourself. And I think it's really cool that you had kind of this connection with the book though, and it reminded you of like someone from the past. I think that's shout out Charlie. That's kind
Yeah,
of
look,
cool.
I feel so bad. Like I want to stress, like I have not talked to this guy
Yeah.
like
I
over a decade. Another mutual friend of ours is actually the one who told me that he
wrote a
recently
book.
published a book of poems,
Yeah.
and I think it's like the greatest yarn ball ever made. Or I honestly I should have looked up the name so I could like give it a good shout out. And so I guess he was like on my mind from that, and then
Yeah.
the book happened, but um yeah, like he's very smart, like immense respect. Like honestly, like he used to we used to like speak in different languages to each other, and he actually knew languages much better than me, and so I would be like, okay, I need to switch back to English now. um so like incredibly smart, and I'm sure his writing is beautiful. So I was just like, where is this coming
Yeah.
from? And I had to talk to Drake about it too. I was like, this is what's happening, babe, just to let you know. And he was like, okay, that's good for you.
Okay.
So I also want to shout out like what a healthy relationship can look like too, in that you're
Mhm.
able to have these conversations, which I do think Gus and January really got to, where they could have really honest, open conversations about
Yeah.
all aspects of their life.
Yeah.
It took them a while to get there.
I think as most relationships do.
Mhm. But after Gus really let down his walls and January started to like take off her rose-colored glasses, and they both leaned into just the here and now
Yeah.
without putting their own expectations on it, I
Mhm.
think they really developed just this kind of healthy bond with each other, and they were
Yeah.
able to see each other as they are and welcome each other as they are and grow together, which I think is such a important part of a relationship. And if I was doing couples counseling, like a pivotal foundational part of the relationship, but I don't think it came until Gus was able to recognize his disorganized attachment. And I think he did at the end kind of like start to recognize that and
Yeah.
like say like, hey, I am making the conscious choice to be here, even though everything in me is fighting to not be here.
Yeah.
And that I like immensely respected. I still don't think he thinks he's worthy of love. And I think that's where CBT
Yeah.
would come in. And I think that's where his chaotic attachment style is stemming from. Just, I am not worthy of love, but the only way I can be worthy is if I am loved, and the only way I can experience or feel love is like through this like romantic relationship. And I
Yeah.
think he needs to deal with those thoughts before getting engaged to January. But I think you're right. Like this is a romance book, so we know the ending and it does have to be happy.
Yeah. They're
Um
predictable.
but I think it could have been a happy ending with them like just agreeing
To
to like
be
to
together.
be together,
Yeah.
and then maybe like 5 years later after years of therapy. But I think what I would do too with Gus that I haven't talked about with others, because I'm kind of on the fence about this, but like physical anchors. So
Mm.
like a safety blanket.
Mhm.
or a security blanket, I think I would work with Gus to bring him, like, create a physical anchor with him. So if it's like a bracelet or a rock or a pen or something that's tactile that he could touch that could bring him back to a sense of safety,
Yeah.
I would do that so that he could have it on him at all times, because he keeps getting surprised by these like big emotional events.
Yeah.
So during moments of distress, such as anxiety or panics or flashbacks, your mind can feel really overwhelmed and he gets detached. And you could see that when his like ex-wife just like came in out of nowhere to his book reading and was like, I want to be with you. Actually, I want to try out to make things up. Like, which is,
That was wild.
that was wild. So I think having something that he could hold and keep him focused in the here and now, instead of like going to this chaotic detachment feeling, would be really, really helpful. And it would serve as a primary physical reminder of safety and reliability, allowing him to kind of regain this sense of control. So as a therapist, how you would do this is you would establish kind of that mental safe place.
Yeah.
I mean, incorporate that object into that mental safe place. And that can be through some like guided meditation, guided mindfulness exercises, where you really start to associate, this is where I'm grounded, this is where I feel at peace. And you're holding or like touching somehow the object. And then as you encounter these surprising or intense experiences, you have that to stop you from spiraling. And I think the hard part is you don't want someone to be completely dependent on an emotional anchor like that. But for the time being, I think that would be really useful for him. And then as he starts to be able to ground on his own, you can use the object less and less. And so it would be like a prolonged period of like attachment to the object, relying on the object, and then learning to have the same responses without the object.
Yeah.
Is what I think the big thing that I would do with him, because I think he really has a hard time grounding himself, because he immediately goes to worst case scenario. Like he immediately catastrophizes. He immediately gets overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then wants to run away. And that's where that chaotic style comes back, and he has to ground himself. And so I think that's the biggest thing that I would work with him on, is just finding that way to stabilize and ground himself when he's getting overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My goal is kind of similar to that, of just like, he really has this core belief of love ends in either disappointment or abandonment, and that success doesn't always erase loneliness. And so I think being able to help him really name those emotions that he's experiencing in those distressful experiences is important. So expressing like his needs without shame too, of like maybe he needs a little bit more reassurance than someone else, or just recognizing that vulnerability doesn't equal weakness. So like you can talk about things without the need to feel weak about it, or loss of control. I think that plays a really big part into it. So I think just kind of really like, I wouldn't dive straight into like, why do you think you experience love as a disappointment or abandonment? Because it's going to go straight into...
I'm sorry that I keep going straight for them.
I'm just saying, like, I think I would be, like, more so, like, let's focus on, like, one of your relationships now. Like, what's your fear around what could happen with it? And then kind of naming those emotions, talking about loneliness, too. Because I don't think they learned how to be alone.
I don't think they learned how to be alone.
And I think that's a really vital thing to do after relationships, or after just like really big moments and events that they had that happened in their lives. And so I think that could be an important aspect to talk about too. of being able to do that.
Being alone is hard. It's
For
hard,
sure.
but it's also necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And I think though, like our experience definitely contribute to our beliefs in that.
Yeah.
Because I think both of us, we got out of serious relationships and were alone for a year and learned to be alone and learned to be independent and learned to really enjoy our own company.
Yeah.
And then once, at least for me, like once I learned how much I do enjoy myself and like my company and that I'm good,
Mm-hmm.
like I am good, then I was ready to put myself out there again. And then of course, I think it's finding where you can protect your peace,
Yes.
because there are so many times where I couldn't protect my peace and I
Mm-hmm.
prioritized the guys I was with over
Yes.
like a healthy state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we mean by being alone, like learning how
Yes.
to be able to prioritize
Yourself.
yourself in a healthy way.
Yes.
Like how to,
don't take your boundaries so far of like, oh, I can't go to my friend's birthday party because like I just can't do that today.
yeah,
Like, that's bullshit.
when your boundaries are not there to,
Like a good example is like me. Like I don't like to go on dates during the week because my evenings after work are my time. That's me protecting my peace, but I'll go out on the weekends.
when your boundaries prohibit you instead of enable you,
Mm-hmm.
those are not good boundaries.
Yeah.
And so I think that's just kind of like where you have to learn to set healthy boundaries and enforce those boundaries. And you often learn that on your own and need to be able to do that on your own. And so that's, I think, what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
And that's what I think January never did. Like,
Yeah.
I think Gus is a lot farther along.
I agree.
And that's like my concern is a little less Gus. We just focus on the male leads in this podcast. My concern is that January hasn't been able to, like, she has had such a major shift in her life from being out of a relationship,
Her dad
learning her dad
had
an affair,
passed
away, working, like, not getting, writing outside of her genre. So she's had a lot of major setbacks. And like, yes, this is over the summer, so at least a 3-month period. But for like 3 months is a long time, but that's not, I don't think, enough time for everything that she has gone through. And so
Yeah.
I would have liked to see more development from January. But I mean, you still saw a lot of character development in this book. Like, I actually think both characters had a really good character development
I
arc.
agree.
I just think it was the beginning of their journey,
Mm-hmm.
and then the book ends.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you ended on like the happy, like they're at this plateau, but they still haven't.
They have a lot to go. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say, that's something to take away. So I think that this conversation has actually impacted my flag rating.
Yeah. I saw what flags you gave it. I have a different rating.
What was your rating?
I
know we'll do hot and trauma after. Yeah.
I'm sitting at a 3.5 on flag rating.
Green or red?
Green.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have totally different flag ratings. So I started with a 5 red flags.
That's fair.
Because I still think Gus is a red flag.
Really? I mean, I could see that.
Yeah. And maybe that's my countertransference. I do respect that Gus has grown. And so maybe there's some of this, like, Charlie and I were never
maybe I
a
see
thing, but
yeah.
And so maybe there's some of that. But like, I think Gus still hasn't fully worked through his attachment styles. And I want to see some more time.
I agree
with that. So that's why I still think he's a red flag. So that's why I had my red flags. but I'm going to drop it to four red flags because I think these characters were too complex to have such a simple ending.
I agree.
And I think
I
that's
felt
where
like
we
the
came to.
ending was rushed.
This could have been a duology.
I think it could have been a duology. And red flags, in all honesty, I'd give January red flags.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's sitting
that's
at like
good
a
point.
4 red flag to me.
She's some red flags.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all
love, though. I overall enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the book. I think it's really well written.
Yeah, I think she did a really good job.
Like, I just think it's the prose are really good, the structure, the outline. After our conversation, though, I do agree the ending was rushed. I wish there had been some more time for growth. And I wish, January is a red flag, and there wasn't enough conversations around, like, her red flags that she brings to the table, because it's so glaringly obvious what Gus's are.
Yeah.
That, like, January gets to hide behind, like, his, which is not fair to Gus. He can't be all the problem.
No. Everyone's got room for growth.
So,
except me.
Oh my God. Because your growth is infinite.
No, because I'm perfect.
Oh my, no.
Oh my God. Because I'm perfect. Drake just agreed.
Drake just called you tiny.
It's like the same thing.
So I would say hot or trauma. Is he hot or is he trauma?
I definitely think trauma for sure, but he's hot and he's working on it, so that's okay. I would date him.
I think he's trauma, and I think I have dated. I think I have dated boys like him in the past. Like, he is so who I would have gone for pre Drake, like, to a T. Like, emotionally unbalanced, always leaning on things, dark curly hair, kind of a snob, intellectual, a snob about being intellectual, a little introverted, but has a lot of friends.
I think if I would have experienced dating someone like this, I probably would have been like, no, he's trauma, not hot. But this guy isn't my type.
This guy isn't your type?
No.
You just said you would date him.
Yeah. A date. Honestly, I'd probably fuck him and that's it.
This guy is my type. Like, this is
your type.
This is my type.
For sure.
We've read
not
so
as a
many,
bad thing.
No, I just think we've read so many books with your type that you're like surprised that you're like, I forgot I don't like Nora's type.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is my type and it's trauma. And
I think I take back that I would date him. I do think he's hot though.
Don't date him.
But it's trauma.
It's trauma. But they mean well.
They definitely mean
I always feel like they mean well, and and he's sensitive. I feel like I always go for a sensitive guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I date like a walking green flag. I'm engaged to a walking green flag who's like the total opposite of this. And I want to respect my growth for moving past the Gus's of the world.
No, for sure. And I think I'm going to hopefully get to that point eventually. I'm not rushing it though. I love when people are always like, you'll find someone, like,
just drink enough tequila and you'll find anyone.
No. Absolutely not. I will say though, I was hanging out with someone and they're like, hey, like, I have this person, like, you should meet. And I was like, yeah, you and everyone else that I'm friends with.
Do I know who you were hanging out with?
Huh?
Do I know this person?
No.
Oh, okay.
And
see, she does have other friends, not just the mirror.
I literally just hung out with my other friends yesterday. So I don't know what I'd be doing.
I don't know what you're doing.
Anyways, I was talking to this person and I was like, I mean, I'm sure, like, if you want to set it up, like, I don't really care. I was like, it's not like I'm like actively looking, like, if people come about or whatever, cool. If not, no big deal. she was like, I just like want to see you happy. And I was like, what the fuck? And she was like, I just like want to see you happy. I said, I am happy.
You don't need a boy to make you happy.
Exactly. I was like, babe, I was like, I am happy. I was like, I have a new apartment. I have a really cool roommate. Like, we're doing a lot of things. I've been go every weekend since like August. And I was like, I'm enjoying my life. Like, I am
young,
happy.
I'm hot.
Exactly.
Like, what more do you want?
I'm single, I'm hot, and I'm young. And then I was just like,
I'm peak girl.
No, I told her, I was like, do you not think I'm happy? And she was like, well, like maybe you could just be like happier, like
Did
with
you
someone.
threaten to fight her?
Yeah.
Maybe
I
that's
was
why she
like-
doesn't think you're happy. Why do you go to violence so
I
often?
didn't go to violence automatically. I was just like, girl, I'll fight you right now if you continue thinking I'm not happy. But I think it's also because I was complaining about work a lot to this person. And I was like, but there's a difference between like not being happy at work and like not being happy outside of it. Because like I'm a really good person that separates my life.
Yeah.
Of like, here's work, here's my life outside of work. And I'll separate that shit.
It's all blurred together.
No.
Everything's word
not.
for me.
Absolutely not. The shit that I do at work does not come home with me. I do not think a single lick about it. Someone asked me about work yesterday. And they're like, how's work going? Like, you still at the university? I said, yep, that's all I'm going to say. And they're like, okay. They're like, drink. I was like, no, but
maybe I'm
you?
the alcoholic.
I'm actually sober right now.
Girl, you were drinking last night and I know
I wasn't. I was DD. I drink Topo Chicos dressed.
With tequila?
The regular Topo Chicos.
Oh.
Yeah,
The
I'm not
Mexican
supposed to be
mineral
drinking.
water?
Yeah. Dude, that book.
Guys.
No, I was sober. I said, everyone cheers to my sobriety. And then everyone didn't think it was funny. I thought it was funny.
Stay reading. Stay reading.
Stay reading. I forgot we didn't end this.
We need to end this before we learn more about your sobriety.